All right, what is up, everybody? Ross Boss NFT here with Griffden today. Today we're talking to Lucky's NFT. We are up all night, or at least from 7 to 8, to get Lucky's NFT. We're talking with Larry and Nick. Welcome to the stage, man. We're so happy to have you guys. And yeah, today we're going to be talking about your upcoming project launch. I know just in a couple days here, you're going to be given some access, some pre-sale and public sale to Lucky's. And we just want to learn more about your project, ask you some questions along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having Nick and I. Unfortunately, tonight Sophia wasn't able to join us, but definitely can kickstart it. So, Luckies is our Genesis project under our umbrella company called Odd Future. Luckies is an NFT project that celebrates Asian culture, specifically in the form of a red envelope. So, if you're Asian, or maybe you guys are familiar from kind of like just friends that you potentially grew up with, typically, especially during New Year's, we from our family we would get these red pockets. It'd be a gift that we would get, and it usually has cash, sometimes some chocolates. Really, what we wanted to do was create Luckies as our Genesis project for Odd Future of this whole ecosystem that we're trying to build, and be able to, number one, celebrate our culture. So both Nick, Sophia, and I are both second generation immigrants, especially from Chinese backgrounds here in North America. And then for us, like because of the kind of like this ecosystem that we're trying to build, we want to tie all these different uh, projects and things that we're able to add value to our community and tie it back to this whole concept of giving and prosperity and fortune. So it really made sense for us to do something that resonates really well with our heritage and our history, but also something that ties in more nicely for kind of like our company as a whole moving forward.
That's awesome. And yeah, we definitely want to get more into that as we go along here because I know on the site you talk a lot about the Asian influence. And I know on your website it says that both co founders are second generation immigrants. So it's really cool. I'm sure you have a lot of stories behind that. Before we get any further, I did want to just make sure I introduce Griffden. He's the other co speaker today, just now that we're live in the recording. He just hit 10K followers this week on Twitter. So huge shout out to him. New Bored Ape holder here. Looks awesome on you, man. So happy you're here.
Hey, thanks, Ross. I'm really looking forward to our conversation today. It's been great hosting with you so far. And I'm really looking forward to especially learning about the Luckies and what you would get as a Luckies token order. So thanks for coming up on here today, guys, and let's have some fun.
Awesome! Congratulations on the 10K milestone. I have a long ways to go.
Oh, it's 5K, but I appreciate it, man. The road to 10K is on, and I appreciate that, man. This is the year I'm gonna be breaking out of my shell as a trader and just try to grow into this greater NFT community because this is my future for sure, man. I love this space.
Yeah, absolutely. Same goes here, and definitely take from what I see that you're doing and try to apply it to myself as well.
Sure thing, man. I'm looking forward to what I can learn from you and your project today.
All right. So I know Griffin mentioned earlier that we're looking forward to learning about sort of the utility of the project and what's coming out. Could we maybe get right into it and just ask? I know holding this is going to access or allow holders to access Odd Future World. Checked out your website. Seems like you guys have more projects underway. But I was curious about the structure of that. I saw in Discord it says only 888 of those out of the 8,888 are going to have like an OG future role. Could you maybe talk about how that role is going to be given out and what people can expect after launch?
Yeah, so a lot more clarity that needs to come through for this. But effectively, we have eight. The kind of like the figure eight is a number for us in our heritage that means fortune and wealth. So for us, the whole 888 for future projects, it's there's effectively as we kind of like build new projects. We want to be able to create kind of like a dedicated Lucky's community for that audience. So it's going to be kind of like this first come first serve, but we also are looking to airdrop 88 NFTs, not for only those 888, but it'd be for all token holders. I just want to clarify that because we've gotten a couple questions about that, and we'll look to clarify that on all of our kind of like marketing and communication materials. But in terms of kind of like the roadmap that we have for Luckies, we have our mint coming up very soon on March 15th. Everything's looking great, so we're really excited about that. It's been a long, short but very long journey. Both kind of like a lot of our team, we've been grinding out 15, 17-hour days to make sure everything's done, everything's being communicated properly. So kind of after launch, kind of like what we're trying to do with the roadmap, we're really looking at building a real business out of the Luckies brand. So kind of within what we're looking to do immediately, some of you guys, some people may know about this, but we created like this Plinko game. We're using ERC 1155 as our standard, and what we want to effectively create is kind of this like play to earn ecosystem. For kind of like both Nick and myself, we built a lot of brands, invested in brands, and scaled them, and we want to take that learning and apply it to Lucky. So we're gonna we've already started some conversations about collaborations, building real world products, merchandise, experiences, so that we can essentially enable people that are within our community playing the play to earn games. They can redeem for certain prizes and experiences, and also being able to extend that to non-lucky holders as well. But obviously, lucky holders will have certain benefits and perks. So that's really a big part of our roadmap. Some of the things that we both Nick and I committed to recently, given the unfortunate circumstances in Ukraine. Both Nick and I, we committed to donating 5% of our primary sales to Ukraine. We also have 5% that we've allocated both in primary and secondary sales to organizations that support Asian heritage. We're not going to make it. We're going to effectively take proposals so that we can donate and do that in perpetuity. And one of the really exciting things that we did was we call upon our community members to support those families that were affected. So in our Discord, we really try to gamify it. So there's a lot of casino games because in kind of like Chinese Asian culture, we like to gamble. But effectively, we were creating this kind of like this mechanism, and it was very much inspired by star catchers. And we wanted to create a way to incentivize the people that were most committed and loyal to our community. So we have these the ability for people to earn certain roles, stack them, and allows them to get different quantity of mints. But we created a pig zodiac for anyone that donated a minimum of $25 US. And from that effort alone, we still have to get the final tally, but we've raised over $25,000 to organizations supporting families affected by Ukraine.
That's so awesome, Larry. And thank you for all the detail on your project, for the clarification about the number of, I guess, ability for users to get this role. All of that's awesome. It sounds like you had an awesome fundraiser. So super glad that went well. And I definitely think, I know you said that gambling is big in Chinese culture. I think it might have bled over into America here because I have been flipping NFTs nonstop as long as I've been able to. And I think a lot of people in this chat have also as well. I would also, again, like to put you on the spot here. As a gambling man yourself, can you please pick a number between 1 and 8 for me?
I will pick 7.
Okay. And can you pick a number between 1 and 4 for me now, please?
I'll pick number 3.
All right. So I'm going to go down 7 rows on this Twitter Spaces from my screen and then go over 3. And that person is going to get a Luckies NFT, a Lawless spot. We're going to be giving away 4 more during the night, but we wanted to kick it off just with a fun little game in honor of your game structure. And we're definitely going to want to hear more about these games coming up, but I thought this was a fun way to give it away.
That was great. I love that.
And
kudos to you.
It looks like Rosax is 7 down, 3 over. Rosax, I'm going to give you the ability to speak here for a second if you want to come up and just make sure that you can get that allow list spot. Rosax 69420. I love it, man. Love the handle. Are you there? All right, well, I'll reach out to Rosax afterwards. But yeah, we're going to be giving away 4 more allow list spots during this Twitter Spaces. So people in the chat, get excited. There's definitely going to be some great opportunities here. Let me pass it over to Griffden for a second, though. What are you thinking, Griffden? Any questions that are coming to your mind for Larry?
Oh yeah, I think this is a really interesting project so far. I like that you guys are bringing your culture into it, and I see you guys. It kind of seems like it's tied a little bit to like the lunar, like New Year celebrations. But I didn't see on the roadmap if you guys had mentioned any kind of like in-person celebrations for the holders. Is that something like you guys would ever be interested in if your community wanted it or you wanted to celebrate with your community?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great point. So we a lot of our team is based here in Vancouver, Canada. Uh, we actually hosted a pop up for in celebration of Chinese or I guess like Lunar New Year. Our pop up ran from February 4th to February 6th. We had some very early Luckies merch and chocolate and juices with some of their local partners, and we actually raised over $5,000 that we donated to the local. I believe it was the Vancouver Chinese Association. So that was kind of like our first attempt of creating kind of like this in real life experience. We are definitely looking to create more in-person experiences especially in Toronto as well as LA. Those are kind of like the spots that both Nick, Sophia, and we have a lot of connections and relationships. I'm actually based out of Toronto, and we've actually kind of toyed with the idea of working and leveraging some of our other partners that we've connected with throughout this journey. So specifically, one shout out to Tiger Archives from kind of like Singapore, Malaysia. Ideally, we would love to be able to kind of work with them and create a collaborative in-person event and experience. Yeah, so those definitely we actually have a lot of different things that we're looking to do that will extend beyond kind of just like the screen, and especially obviously different regions are affected differently by COVID, but we definitely want to be able to create in-person activations.
That's a great answer, man. That's really exciting to hear that you guys, went the distance to host something prior to even your mint. It really shows that you guys are trying to build a brand around this, huh? And it's a great thing to do, I think, for your Genesis project because it sounds like you and your team, you guys want to make this your first project, but there's going to be some more projects coming in the future from you and your team. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to be able to share some of the stuff that we have. They're kind of like with Off Future. Really, our mission is to help Web3 adoption go mainstream. So, kind of starting off, we had to do it ourselves, and that's kind of what Luckies is all about. It's been an incredible learning opportunity and experience, both good and bad. And some of the other projects that we have are that we're launching ourselves are super exciting, and uh, we're also working with some very large global brands to become their Web3 partner. And for us, if we're able to work with them, and they obviously have an audience that may or may not be adapt to Web3, but we can support them as and help them educate their consumers. That's how we see being our ability to create influence and change to kind of help drive and support the community and drive that adoption.
Awesome. So you guys really want to try to bridge that gap, between Web 2 to Web 3, it sounds like with your expertise working on it sounds like startups or building brands in the more Web 2 space. And that's really exciting to hear. I kind of wanted to motion over to your guys' art. I'm not really sure if I've been able to find exactly what the examples are. I'm looking at your guys' pictures on your team. Is that exactly what your art is going to be for the Luckies project? Kind of like these Lunar New Year animals?
Yeah, I would say the ones from our site are probably a bit underrepresentative of what our total collection is supposed to be. Admittedly, Sophia has worked really hard on making and kind of like adapting the art over the last several months, and it really kind of came down to like the last, I guess, like the fourth quarter or the ninth inning. Just because for Sophia, digital, I guess, like NFT generative art is an entirely new canvas. So just how you would design and kind of like all the different traits, it's totally different. And so those examples were published pretty early on. But yeah, they feature primarily, like our collection in the art features the 12 kind of lunar New Year zodiacs. You hear like of the dragon, the rooster, and the ram, and kind of like the full gamut. But we also have some surprise characters that are very tied to kind of like our Asian upbringing. For example, like certain foods, certain brands that you would typically see in a household for specifically a Chinese family. We pay homage to some of those products and those brands.
That's very cool. So it's not just animals. I love to see it. I can't wait to see the art. I'm really interested in minting, to be honest, man. This is some pretty cute art. I think it really rolls with that cute meta, and it brings a cool new twist along with your culture. I wanted to motion back over to our buddy Rosax, who was the first winner. It looks like he's up here.
GM, can you hear me?
Oh, we
What's
can
up?
hear you, Rosax.
Hello. Sorry, I was kind of slow earlier and didn't want to break the flow of the conversation, but I'm really lucky that you picked me. Thank you.
Yeah, man, congratulations. It's awesome because I think that this project is going to be something I can already tell. So you already have the what is that, a howlers on your profile picture? Maybe you'll end up rocking the Luckies one day.
Yeah, actually, I was lucky to mint 3 of them, but also this one I bought for an extra 1.5 ETH. But I believe in the project.
Hey man, conviction happens, and I hope the best for that project, man. It's got some sick art. What's up,
Yeah.
Ross? I see you want to say something, buddy.
Yeah, well, actually, I have to say, I've already been grinding for a while in the Luckies Discord, so I already have the Tiger roll and the Pig Zodiac. So I'm actually happy to give away my allowless spot here if for anyone who's maybe still waiting for a spot there.
Wow.
Wow.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. Rosax, you are the man.
You want to do the honors, man? You can go ahead and pick your own game of how we figure out the winner, or you can kind of just go through, do whatever you.
Really leave it up to you. Otherwise, I will just go ahead and pick one of the PFPs I like most here.
Oh, Rosax, I got a game cooked up for you. But if you want to pick one, we have 5 allow list spots. If you want to hand one out first, just for whoever, go for it. But we got some animal themed twists of our own coming up.
Okay. So please go ahead and proceed with that then.
All right, guys. In honor of Lucky's NFT, who have some zodiac animals as part of their launch, the first person in this chat who can change their PFP on Twitter to a tiger and then wave at us will get an allow list spot. And no leopards, no cheetahs, tigers only. And a bonus, honestly, if you change it to an ox. We'll give away 2 allow list spots right now. I want an ox and a tiger, an IRL photo of those animals. Change it, wave at us, get our attention. We'll be looking. And yeah, whoever can do that first, you got an allow spot.
Nice.
I love that. I think for Rosac, I definitely want to applaud you for giving that away. For Luckies, it's really what we're all focused about is just how to support each other and be generous. So because you do have the kind of like the 2 roles, what we'll do is we'll give you the 3rd role so that you can stack. You probably are familiar with the stacking. And that way you kind of to reward you for kind of like your generosity, we'll give you the stacking, and then we'll still continue to have the five white I guess like allow list that we'll give out for this this talk.
Wow, thanks, man. Really, really appreciate it. And I've already grasped the good vibe in your Discord, and I can wholeheartedly um, invite everyone to come in and vibe with the others. It's a great place.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your endorsement. And you really just showed kind of like the spirit of what Luckies is all about. So the check is coming in the mail.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
All right, we definitely have more questions for you, Larry, and I definitely want to get Nick up here as well. I just wanted to announce M with the Radioactive just brought him on as a speaker quickly to congratulate him. You are fast, sir. Happy Year of the Tiger, and I hope you are happy with your Luckies NFT allow list spot. I'm going to be contacting you after this Twitter Spaces. Make sure you send me a friend request or shoot me a DM, but we are going to get you some early access.
Yeah, thank you. And I just want to say, Rosex, you're the man for doing that. Not everyone would do that. That's super nice, and we all appreciate it.
I love to see the good vibes, guys.
All right, so let me ask you a question, then I'll throw it back to Griffden. Larry, I know you said that you're going to be introducing some like games in the future and giving away stuff like, just like we're doing right now. Do you guys have a coordinated or specialized team for developing some of those games? And are we talking about like fully playable video games? I know you have I think an app coming as Q4 of this year.
So when we kind of first started, it was we created this like Plinko game. It's like fully branded, a web-based Plinko game that allowed us to effectively give out allow lists to people that were top scorers, and we were kind of doing like different kind of like fun ways to like create better engagement. That was a huge success. Nick and I aren't necessarily, or I guess like not, I don't want to say not necessarily, we're not game developers, but what we're looking to do is create a way that we can kind of continue that experience and like kind of just fostering what resonates with a lot of our Asian culture. It's not going to be like a fully like immersive game. You won't see it on stream or PS5 or anything like that. It'll probably be an extension of what we're looking to do, and it's another way just to augment a lot of the in real life experiences that we're going to be creating. To not give too many things away, but I'm trying to think how I can best answer this without giving too much away.
Would you be willing to give a little bit away just because we have Sneaky Ninja Pants listening, who I know he loves Alpha. I don't want to have you give too much away, but Sneaky confirms love Alpha.
Yeah, I would say if you kind of just look at both like Nick, myself, and Sophia, we're not that there's anything wrong with this, but like a lot of the individuals within the Web3 space are not necessarily people that have a lot of business experience. They may be amazing artists, but they may not have kind of I guess like the relationships and network that we have. Certainly, there are projects that are like that, but really for us, like we want to be able to extend Luckies and what we're trying to build with Odd Future to all the real world relationships that we have. So being able to create experiences, products, merchandise that are leveraging our existing relationships, that's really a big part of it. So in terms of like the game, that we're just solely focused on our Luckies like launch. It's been an incredible learning experience, specifically kind of just like trying to build a project in a space that didn't exist. I don't want to say 6 or I guess like 12 months ago. Obviously, CryptoPunks has been around, but just like kind of like in terms of like the momentum and where the space is going. But it's entirely new to us, so we're just really focused on that. But we do have a lot of relationships for building something that's really good. So Plinko was something that we did really quickly, and I think that's if that is any testament to what we can do, then when we have time, the resources, then yeah, I think it'll be a lot more awesome than what the Plinko game was.
Gotcha. So you're really out here building a whole community, and this is sort of the grassroots right now that we're witnessing. You guys just starting off, making connections, and building off of those relationships.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, hey, let me bring Nick on real quick. Speaking of building relationships and expanding the community, Nick, tell us about yourself, man. Maybe tell us about your background or any experience that led you to founding this project with Larry. Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. My name is Nick. Apologies. Had some technical difficulties. Couldn't seem to get my headphones to work for whatever reason. So just quick apologies, but I'll do a quick intro on myself. So my name is Nick. As Larry probably already mentioned, my background is in primarily business and entrepreneurship. So I've been a business owner for quite a number of years. I started out actually as a physiotherapist or physical therapist in the States back in 2006. I've been in the health and wellness space actually for a long time. And then I started up my own practice in 2011. So basically my own clinic in Vancouver, BC. And it was always like a brand-led, community-led type of business. Continued to grow that. Ended up joining up with a company called MyoDetox from Toronto in 2016. At that time, our kind of goal was to scale operations across Canada and then into the States, and then also prepare for international franchising. So basically from 2017 to just last year, my primary job or day job was as the chief operating officer at MyoDetox, which currently has, I think, 14 or 15 locations across North America. So, and all in the health and wellness space, physiotherapy, massage therapy, and chiropractic services. So if you guys haven't been there, if you're in LA or Vancouver and Toronto, I definitely recommend checking it out, especially, you know, if you're doing a lot of Discord grinding these days, sitting down. But that was like my background. And then me and Larry have been friends for many years. We met actually working at MyoDetox together. And we've partnered with multiple things from an investment standpoint and just became really good friends. Last year, we started getting to the NFT space quite a bit, just on a personal level. So both of us started buying a lot of NFTs for ourselves for fun. And then it was Gary Vaynerchuk's VeeFriends that really kind of, you know, kickstarted our, I guess, passion for NFTs. Because it was really him that started to talk about NFTs more than, you know, just the art or more than just the actual, you know, collection itself. And he was talking a lot about the utility of it and being able to, you know, have access to VCon, which is his conference, and access to experiences with him or whatever that may be. And that really was like, for myself and Larry, it was very much a light bulb moment of, you know, we're sitting here and, you know, we're both, you know, business people. And, you know, I was a big operator. I've been an operator for many, many years and, you know, managed a lot of teams and ended up teaching and strategizing on marketing and community building and all that kind of stuff. And really when Gary did that, it was a big like, whoa, wow, like this technology could actually be kind of like an underpinning infrastructure for all businesses, and all businesses should really look into adopting this technology to prepare for the way consumers potentially interact in the future. And when that was kind of what we talked about, it was like, wow, like we really got to like look into this space. So, you know, obviously became obsessed and we started Odd Future together. I ended up leaving my position at MyoDetox and then going full force. So right now, this is like my full-time job, and starting this company with Larry, and you know, growing Odd Future, and as Larry had already mentioned, positioning it as a company to really help adopt the adoption of Web3 technology for brands, businesses, but also consumers. So you know, we host a lot of meetups where we teach the community about NFTs, about the technology, get them set up with wallets and all that kind of stuff, and then Luckies is really our genesis project where we're like, you know what, before we start launching projects with brands, we really have to understand how the consumers interact with this technology, how Discord works, how Twitter works, how all of that stuff works, so that we can really, immerse ourselves in this experience and learn about it. So we can go and, talk to brands and businesses with at least some experience of launching our own products. So Luckies, again, Larry already talked about it, but very, very much resonates with both me and Larry very, very much, and also Sophia, because of our Chinese heritage and really wanting to, being a business owner and entrepreneur from with Asian descent hasn't always been the most easy thing in this world, and unfortunately, so we really want to use this platform as a way to inspire artists and creators, as well as entrepreneurs, which I think are creators, to embrace their heritage and be successful. And if we can do our part and allocate a percentage or a small percentage of Luckies, whether it's from primary sales or royalties, to support our culture, our heritage, and people in the next generation, then we're absolutely going to do that. So that's kind of what Luckies is, and it's a bit of a ticket to come along for the ride with us as we continue to build Luckies into a brand, but also as we continue to launch projects in Odd Future.
Awesome. No, that's really awesome, and I really appreciate how much passion you guys have about the project, and it just really seems like we're speaking to actual people here, right? Like I must compliment you guys on just talking about actually building the project, and it doesn't seem like you're trying to come out here and deliver the world to everybody. It just seems like you're honestly talking about building a community and starting a brand. And I mean, I love it. I think that's part of the whole fun of the NFT community, is like really seeing projects that want to build slowly and do it right. And I'm sure it's definitely tough when you see, projects coming out in one day and exploding the next. Like there's still projects out there that just are slowly moving the needle and building and building and building. So that's really awesome. And it's cool to hear that you guys have some business experience and experience managing projects and working with other people. So really excited for that. I'm going to bring Rodugo up because I know he's requested the mic for a while here, and then I'm going to pass it back over to Griffden. Oh, actually, you know what? I have one quick question, because I know that there are Tyler the Creator fans out there who are shaking in their boots. They are just like panicking. They don't know what's going on. Your guys' brand is Odd Future. Can you talk about that? I'm sure we're curious how you guys landed on the name. I know you're Canadian, he's Canadian. Is that an homage to him? Have you never heard of Tyler the Creator?
That's a great question. We actually get this quite a bit. If we're connected to Tyler Creator, the answer is no. It's for us, like Odd Future. For us, I guess. For Nick kind of mentioned, like he was a physical physiotherapist in his previous life, and he's really looking at Web3 as his next big chapter. I didn't really share my background, but very quickly, I've been in a serial entrepreneur throughout my entire career, straight out of university, and I've been in a lot of different industries and different verticals. But most recently, I've been more of an active angel investor, having exited a number of different companies. And both Nick and I are committing to Odd Future as kind of like our next chapter. So Larry 4.0, I guess. I wish it aligned with 3.0, but that's kind of like where I feel like I am at in terms of like my evolution. And because we're kind of looking at Web3 as like this main our main career over the next foreseeable future, we also don't know like how Web3 is going to change. Maybe there is going to be a Web 4.0 or whatever it may be. So really, Odd Future was meant to kind of I guess like describe the world at where it's at today, and we feel that the world at where it's going to be tomorrow is very, very different and very very weird and odd. So that's really kind of like where Odd Future came from, and just I guess coincidentally, it is also Tyler the Creator's brand. That's why we're differentiating with the three. Tyler the Creator has trademarks. So again, just given our respective business experiences, like we definitely looked at Odd Future in terms of like trademarking and everything in the States. It's trademarked for like apparel, and so we're totally in a different lane. But also as we are launching our own kind of like our own collection of merchandise, and being able to create a retail brand under the Odd Future umbrella, we're not going to be using Odd Future anymore. That's TBD. But I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. I think as long as you don't go on making socks with donuts all over them, you guys will be fine. But thank you for the candid response. And I like that you mentioned what version you are. Griffden, what version are you feeling like right now? Rocking the Bored Ape PFP, hitting new followers here. We're hosting spaces for MVHQ. It's real life. How are you feeling?
Yeah, this whole past year has been a whirlwind, man, and I'm just so thankful to have found a passion. And I think like my future career lies within Web3, and yeah, of course, Metaverse HQ completely changed my world as a trader, as someone in the space trying to understand it. Um, so in the past, 8 months or so that I've been within MVHQ, um, I've learned so much. I've been able to network so often with some of the best traders and creative minds within the space. And so yeah, I mean, I feel great, man. It's sometimes you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, but I feel lucky and appreciative. That's for sure, man.
Awesome. So would you say Griffden like 3.0, maybe 5.0?
No, it's definitely 3.0 because this is Web3, right?
I love it. Absolutely. All right, Griffin. Well, any other questions you have for the team? We can, I guess, start fielding questions from the audience too, if you prefer.
Oh yeah, I just had one. I just wanted to make a note on. I love hearing that you guys are both entrepreneurs. I kind of look at myself as a bit of an entrepreneur, and I think that this is the perfect space if you're a technologically inclined entrepreneur to really go out and do your own thing, and you know maybe even make a big difference in the world with whatever you end up doing. So I just applaud you guys for taking the step into this space. I saw you guys both have some pretty well-known profile pictures from well-known projects, CloneX and Doodles. I wanted to ask you both, if you could, real quick, just to try and tell me a bit of your inspiration that you could draw from maybe those projects, because I'm guessing they're maybe your favorites or one of your favorites from the space.
Yeah, I can start. Yeah, I mean, CloneX is obviously a big project, and last year when Artifact did their launch, I mean, prior to that, they were hyping up the project for a long time, and the art was obviously really really cool. And when they talked about Murakami being a collaborator on the project, it just kind of sold me completely. So I ended up minting two at that time. They had the Dutch auction, and I bought both of them at two Ethereum at that time, and wanting to, obviously hoping that I would get a Murakami piece. I come from a street culture, basketball, sneakerhead type of world, so Murakami has always resonated with me. Since a long time ago, I've been to a couple of his art shows, and I think it was actually when I found out he did Kanye West's album cover for College Dropout that I really started resonating with him even more. But Murakami was kind of the big ticket for me, and obviously I was really fortunate to get a Murakami piece out of it, and I've used this PFP as my profile quite a bit, and also very fortunate that obviously I get to buy one of the Murakami flowers when they come out. So really happy about that.
Awesome. And well, thanks for touching on all that. It sounds like Murakami is a big part of your life, so it's pretty cool how you could hop in and grab one of those on Mint. Congratulations for that, by the way, man. That is an awesome play right there. I was at the time, kind of blown away by the Mint price. So, for you to take that step, especially as a fan, is great to hear. And I kind of wish I did too. But we keep it eyes forward in MVHQ. So Larry, I wanted to ask you too about your doodles. That's been a very successful project and somewhat pioneering, especially with their art in the space. And I see a bit of inspiration maybe in the Luckies art from it. Can you tell me a bit about your profile picture?
Yeah. So I guess I'll share kind of like my sad but also good story. So before I had a Doodles, I didn't have a really cool profile pic. I actually had a koala intelligence agency, which is like a terrible project, but I was really, really excited when kind of like Nick and I started buying NFTs and wasted a lot of Ethereum and thought that it was going to be like the next Bored Ape or whatever it may be. And I bought mine for like 1 ETH. I got ragged on all the time about, oh, like if you're trying to be kind of like in this Web3 space, but you have a project that isn't doing so well. But I had that for a very long time. But I guess like part of your question was like what projects like are you kind of like a fan of? And for me, actually, I'm a huge believer in World of Women. So I bought a whole bunch of World of Women, kind of like when they first came out, when Gary Vaynerchuk kind of gave them a shout out. So kind of like as we were building out Odd Future, and we realized that hey, like maybe I need a better profile pic. I actually sold. I effectively traded in a few of the World of Women around 4 to 5 ETH, and to buy my Doodles. And 2 days later was when World of Women announced that they were gonna give unlimited commercial rights, and it kind of exploded. And this is, I think, like maybe the beginning of December, and all these women-led projects like started to take off. So I'm super grateful I have the Doodles. I'm also very grateful that I still have some World of Women. But that's kind of like the story, and it's just for me as we're trying to build out like this new identity, and for Odd Future, Doodles for me was is uh, uh, because of just like how they've gone about it, like their history of kind of being part of like the whole Axiom Labs CryptoKitties. I've been following that for a number of years. The art is really cool. So Doodles for me, at least what I wanted to purchase was Doodles. There's definitely a lot of different options. I contemplated buying a Bored Ape over the summer when it was about 30 ETH, but felt it was a bit steep. Obviously, wish I had done that, but Doodles, Bored Ape. I think both Nick and I are just really big fans of projects that have a lot of purpose, utility, and the kind of similar to ourselves, like real people behind them. So we've learned to like not kind of buy a lot of projects where it's really sus. We actually just hired a full-time Web3 analyst at Odd Future, and hoping to be able to provide a little bit more guidance and providing like doing a lot more due diligence and taking a lot of the learnings and very costly mistakes that we've made over the years, and again communicating that to a broader audience to help them uh, minimize a lot of those mistakes that they may do. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks for getting into the nitty gritty of that. I know the feeling of selling something and then it just pops off right after. But I had mentioned it earlier, and I want to give a quick shout out to an important member of MVHQ, JJ. He's there in the crowd, and he taught us in MVHQ something that has been an integral part of my trading life, and it's the eyes forward mentality. Which there's always another opportunity around the corner, and look at you guys now. You guys are going in and doing your first project, and then you're going to go off and help other people bring their own projects into Web3. So you guys obviously have kept it eyes forward and kept the ball rolling, and I applaud that. Well, real quick, I think we have another giveaway. Ross, did you have a fun game that we could do maybe to pick that winner?
I sure did. And this one I want to make sure Larry and Nick are cool with, because at MVHQ, we like to be a lot more thorough as a community. So sometimes we like to ask pressing questions and really put people through the ringer just to make sure that they have well vetted projects. Fortune favors the bold, as we all know. So if it's okay with you two, I would like to invite people to ask bold questions for your team. The bolder the better, but let's be respectful, everyone. And ask a bold question about Lucky's NFT, any FUD you might have. any concerns, give them the bold questions. Larry, Nick, what do you say? Are you comfortable if we do that?
Sure. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. If you have a bold question for this team, and do not get on the mic and be like, oh man, like you guys are killing it. I just wanted to say hi. No, I want your hard hitting journalism hats on here, people. There is an allow-less spot on the line. Raise your hand. We'll get you up for a bold question. Griffden will say if it was bold enough or not. He is known to be the boldness meter in MVHQ as he's making bold moves like selling punks and flipping into apes. But yeah, raise your hand if you're in the audience and you have a bold question. We'd love to get you up here and give you an allow spot.
I think that's a great way to go about it too, Ross. These guys have been great to chat with this entire meeting. So thank you guys, and I'm looking forward to see what you guys answer with.
I'm beginning to fear that our audience is very risk averse here. Is anyone feeling bold tonight?
I can just call people out. I have a few friends in here. Here, Tristan, come up and ask a bold question to these guys. I know that you know the space pretty well. I don't know how well you've been listening to this, but why don't you come up here and just ask these guys a quick question? Unless he's on his PC. That is always the downfall of spaces. Ain't that the truth?
Jack Dorsey's replacement. If you're listening, give us more react buttons.
Well, oh, there we go. There we go. What's up,
Yeah,
brother?
I have been here for most of this. I'm like half watching a small dog at the moment, but I got the tail end. I got the gist of what you guys are doing. Hey, oh man, right when I start talking. Come on, dog. So the gist, what I really want to get at, I think it's bold enough. I hope it is, but I think it's a great project. I think it's a huge needing to, having an inroad into Web3, having people understand it, even if it's not like a direct like Web2 to Web3 thing, but it's just some people who have an idea and they want to bring it to a space where they can, make the most of it and really leverage this space of crowdsourcing, power that it just seems really daunting to a lot of people. There's several projects that I've heard who also want to do that. So I guess the bold question is, what differentiates you the most? Why are you guys going to be the most successful? Is that bold enough?
I rock with it. What do you think, Larry? You able to answer that one?
Yeah, I'm actually very, very excited to answer that one. So the why we're very confident that we're going to be successful is both Nick and myself and a lot of people that we have on our team. We have a tremendous track record of building very successful businesses. This is not our kind of like first go at it. Although it's in a new industry, it effectively is just building a brand and building a business. And I think for that reason alone is why we're going to be differentiated. And to add to that, because we are building this whole off future ecosystem, because of the upcoming projects that we're launching, we and the brands that we actually have in the pipeline, we know for a fact that like internally that we are building what we really believe is a rocket ship. And I don't mean that in kind of like this whole degen way and like Wen Moon, but it's really like the what we have in the pipeline, the ecosystem that we're trying to build. We're really doing this organically, and for example, we host Nick alluded to this, like we host these NFT 101s, and it's a free webinar to help people learn about how to set up a MetaMask and how to buy NFTs and what is crypto and things to look out for. But the reason why we're doing that is because we are working with some global brands, and those global brands are going to have audiences that are not, they don't know anything about crypto. And we want to be able to start being able to create this ecosystem that adds value and helps educate them so that big name company and their audience of males between 20 to 50 like because just naturally the percentage of females, especially that audience, are very low. They're not going to be ready to know how to set up MetaMask or buy crypto. And we're creating these NFT 101s as just one of many things for these brands to say, hey, Odd Future is our partner. Check out this webinar that they're doing. Here's this resource guide. We've been building this whole infrastructure and foundation for a lot of the growth that we're going to have. So I hope that's a bold answer.
Yeah, man. I love the confidence, and it was a pretty dang good answer. It swindled me a little bit, man. I'm looking forward to see what you and Nick can do with Odd Future. What did you have to say there, T?
Yeah, I was just gonna agree. I do think it was a great answer. I do want to have a follow-up question. I think that this maybe have been something that I just missed earlier on. But so when you're saying you have a one-of-one webinar that you're making for them, are you using that in the term of what we would be familiar with, and that is actually maintained as an NFT, or are you just kind of using that as like meaning
No,
it's a
sorry,
bespoke experience?
101. Not
Oh,
one on one.
got it.
Yeah, so we like the first one that we had, we only had a few days, and we just we kind of extended it to anyone that maybe aren't as familiar to crypto. So it's a 101 webinar. We also host these events here in Vancouver, and we have a meetup in Toronto, and there's varying levels of education and knowledge. So again, here's like a precursor. We created this resource guide called NFT 101 on our website, but we just hired a couple content members. MG Stern here is in our chat right now, and he leads our biweekly email initiative. So the emails, if you guys are interested, it's not about just like, oh, what are the projects that are mooning or whatever. We're actually talking about more of the actual cultural impact of what Web3 is doing for the world. So the first one, the issue that we had was about women are rising, and we recognize the women projects and how they're creating and being leaders for the industry. And the second one second issue we highlighted was about Ukraine and how the Web3 community is supporting, especially through the project of Relief. I don't recall if I mentioned this, but both Nick and I are committing 5% of our sales, primary sales, to this cause. So again, we're not talking necessarily like what the content we're trying to create isn't about when moon and floors and all that kind of stuff. Like we're really looking at this really in an organic way and trying to educate people about why it's relevant and why it's important. Yeah.
I think that's great, and I think it's a really effective way to make sure that the people who are on the receiving end of that lesson, they retain it in a different way. Because when not that focusing on one moon or what's up right now or the trends is inherently not a service, because it certainly is, but the retention and the reason why it becomes important to people is much different when it becomes from all these different cultural angles that people can relate to outside of the space, and to start to relate, the on-chain space or the inter-metaverse space, whatever you want to call Web3 ecosystem, to their day-to-day lives and things that they find important. That's really cool.
Yeah, you're spot on. And I think what Nick and I have been able to kind of like build up is this skill to communicate and simplify, or aim to simplify, a lot of complex topics into ways that are understandable and approachable to kind of like normal individuals.
Well, awesome. I love the confidence that you carried when you answered that question, Larry. And I love to hear that it really sounds like you guys, from what I can tell, are here for the long run. You want to do something in Web3, not to just make a bunch of ETH and go. You guys are here to stay and to help projects get built the right way. Thank you for that awesome, bold question, Tristan. That's just the only guy I could probably pick on to pull up in here from the crowd that is actually my older brother. So thanks for coming up here, man.
I saw Joe Meta. Oh, here he is. Okay, great. Let me let me bring Joe Meta up. I think he's got a pressing question as well, a bold question. So hopefully we can get a fire question here and then a whitelist spot. Joe Meta, I heard that my sister went out with a guy the other day. I said, "Who greeted you at the restaurant?" And she said, "Joe Meta." That was terrible. I had to go for it. Joe, please.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Joe, can you ask a bold question and just move on from that awkward moment?
Yeah, sure. So, question for Nick and Larry, either or both. And it's like, because, you hear no matter what space you listen to and what project you listen to, they're all, well, not all, but a lot of them are going to bring brands into Web3. And can you give us some concrete examples on how you're doing that? Is that Web3 combined with Web2 and some special offerings on their website for Web3 users to access? Is that geocaching events and offerings, or give us a concrete example, because everybody says that they're going to bring brands into Web3.
Yeah, I can take that one. Yeah, I mean, again, like to kind of piggyback off what Larry said, me and Larry have, spent most of our time in traditional business, and we're traditional entrepreneurs, and we've always looked at business a very certain way, and it's about building community and providing value for communities, whether you're in Web2 or Web3. So, I'll talk a little bit about the next project we're working on. It's with a running company here in Vancouver, and to give you some concrete example of how consumers interact with this particular.
Maybe. Oh.
Sorry, am I?
Yeah, Nick, I think your internet is going in and out.
Sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes, sir. It should be good, I think.
Did we miss all of that? Do I have to just go back?
Probably, yeah, that'd be best.
Okay, sorry. So to kind of answer that question, I can talk about one of the companies that we're working with, which is currently a Vancouver-based running company that we're hoping to partner with a global brand on. And it is a NFT kind of PFP project to start, but we look at all these things from, we don't look at NFTs as like any sort of new offering. For us, NFT is just, and Web3 blockchain is just the underlying technology to interact with consumers. So the way we're looking at it is we're going to sell, a bunch of these NFTs, and we're going to use them in a way to give them access to certain things within the digital ecosystem and then also in the physical ecosystem. So what me and Larry's primary background is real life brand building and real life experiences. So what we're trying to build is, can we create a lot of tangible value for holders of this particular NFT in the real world, whether that unlocks brand perks, whether that unlocks brand experiences with a brand partner, whether that unlocks, different types of rewards that a brand can give you in real life, whether that's shopping on the e-commerce site, whether that's creating a new site that allows you to connect wallets. That's all kind of in real life experiences. On the digital side, we're looking at, well, what is it on a running experience side that digitally is lacking? I'm a big user of Strava. I know a lot of people are big users of Strava or Nike Run app or Apple Fitness or whatever that is. When the pandemic happened, I think what a lot of runners noticed, and me being a very active runner, is this kind of virtual running experience is pretty bad because it takes away from the energy and the kind of crowds and the fun part of running in races. And for me, I've run many marathons before, and during the pandemic, I got to take part in a variety of different virtual races, and it's just not the same. I go outside and I turn on my Strava and I go run for 21K or 42K for a marathon, and it's just by myself. They'll mail me my medal 3 months later when really I want somebody to put it around my neck when I could barely walk, right? That's part of the experience. That's part of the crowd, and it's part of the energy. So, is there a way to use these NFTs to build along that ecosystem and use Web3 technology to create a more engaging experience for a platform like Strava, which is a social platform, very much Web2. Can we make that into more of a Web3 thing, right? Whether that's into the metaverse and whatever that means, can we host a marathon in a completely kind of augmented reality world where you can feel the energy, people can cheer for you when you clap, when you double tap, you can actually get the motivation, and people can actually watch you and feel you and all that kind of stuff. And then when you win your medals, can those become NFTs where I can collect them? I can actually show my friends. I can maybe have a whole kind of folder of all the medals I've ever won. And then if I click on that, maybe it shows photos of all the runs that I've ever, for that particular run, all the stats that I had that run, So again, from a digital side, we're looking at how do we prepare for more digital immersive experiences in the future. From a physical side, it's, how do we build better community? How do we create much better engagement amongst our customers with loyalty, with retention, with all those kind of things? So again, that's just one example of how we're looking at it from a brand perspective. Again, me and Larry are not the devs. We're not the technical guys, but what me and Larry bring to the table is we understand business end to end. We've done a lot of business and brand building through our lifetimes. And again, being an operator for many years, this is kind of what we do. So it's to us, it's like, well, you have this new technology, let's use it. But really, it's not like, trying to sell NFT collections. No, it's like, how do we use this technology to improve consumer experiences for particular brands? And hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Thanks for coming up, Joe. That was a great question, and I think a pretty great response from Nick there. Ross, did we want to bring anybody else up, or what's on the agenda? I know we maybe have like one more giveaway to do, right?
Yeah, we have one more giveaway, and we are quickly running out of time here. But I like the idea that Nick presented about building these in-person experiences, right? So I'm going to invite one final person to come up and introduce a novel idea for utility. I will start just as an example. I would love it if Lucky's NFT hired someone to stand outside every casino in Canada and gave people breath mints on the way in. That way, when I say hit me to the dealer, he knows I will be staying minty fresh. That, guys, you can feel free to use that if you want. I think it would bring a lot of utility to holders. I hope that somewhere in the audience we have someone with another creative mind who might think of a fun utility example if there were no laws and money was no object. Bring it up. Give us your best utility. What would you love to see in a project in a perfect world where anything could happen? First person to raise their hand and has a fun idea, you'll get the last whitelist spot that we have to give away here.
I love it. I hope we get a bunch of people fighting over this opportunity. That was a good one.
Thank you. Oh man, our audience is just watching too much Netflix. They have to have all of the creative content fed to them.
You are a bit of a robot right now, Ross. I don't know if you're. Sorry to interrupt. You might be in a bad spot in your house or something.
Oh, sorry about that. I guess this house was not as nice as I thought.
With the concrete walls, you can't get your internet through.
Dude, it's Verizon, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right here.
I gotta say though, I'm not hating on anybody who lives in a place with concrete walls. There was a place 2 years ago where I was staying in an old abandoned building on my dad's property, and I read a quote the other day that said you can change your life in 6 months, and that's what you can do in this space for sure. So.
Yeah, you really can change your life in this space, and I know it sounds cheesy, and I feel like people who come in here and don't really realize it, but you really can. All right, well, is there anyone in the audience, creative or not, just raise your hand if you want to get up here. I can put you on the spot. If you're looking for a chance to have an allow list spot, I really do want to celebrate. NFTs can be life-changing, and for a lot of people listening, this might be their first NFT ever, or maybe they haven't gotten in the space. Just react with anything right now. just so I know you're listening. And if not, hey, we'll just sit on that allow list spot. No worries.
I see a fellow croc in the crowd. I don't know if you're willing to come up and maybe ask a question, Tommy, but do your thing. If you don't want to, no problem, brother.
All right, it looks like Tommy threw up a logo here. Heck, I'm going to invite a few people up here, actually. I just invited you up, Tommy. I'm going to invite up... Oh, all right, someone joined.
Here.
Tommy,
what's going on, guys?
Welcome.
I've been listening. I've been thinking really hard of what I'm going to say for this utility. I just don't... what are the parameters? Money's no object. Does it have to fit with this particular project, or just a utility I'd love to see?
Just a utility that you would love to see, and feel free to be grandiose. Feel free to be gaudy. If you want the world to be drenched in velvet tomorrow, you go outside. Every tree has velvet on it and a small Luckies NFT logo at the base. I would love to see it too. And feel free again, guys, if you want to use that, you can definitely work it in your roadmap. But yeah, dream big, Tommy. Let's hear it.
I would like, okay, just like in real life utilities. So maybe something I drink every day is coffee. Like maybe, this is just out of nowhere. Like, get coffee from, different cultures or something, or just drink. Maybe it's a tea, maybe it's something like this, but having that just shipped to my house for holding your NFT, just in real life, more stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That like you can use it for and be like, hey, where can I get this coffee, man? This is amazing. Like, well, you got to have this NFT, you know.
Tommy, that's a genius idea. We have tea shipped to you, and we call it NFTs.
NFT, yep.
All right, Larry, Nick, I know you guys are going to be adding that to the roadmap.
Fit in with the culture idea, everything with that.
That'll be Odd Future's second project, huh? Hooking the whole NFT community up with some dank roast. Please.
All right, well, thank you so much, Tommy. We're going to be giving you the last allow list spot. We're going to be wrapping it up here. Larry, Nick, anything else you want to say and leave the people with about your project? And thank you guys so much for coming and chatting with us in MVHQ tonight. This has been a blast.
Yeah, so just as a quick last plug is we do start mint on March 15th. Our allow list is totally capped out. We're obviously hoping for a good result, but either way, it doesn't really matter. We're here for the long run. The journey for us is just starting, and we're really excited for any of those individuals that are able to join us. And if you aren't able to join us, hopefully you will in the future. And we're hopefully Nick and I will be able to come back on a future kind of hangout and talk about our progress. We would love to talk more about the journey, more of the business side of things, and yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, same to you. It was great chatting with you and Nick. I'm really interested in following you guys now, and I'll be most likely a mentor of you guys' Genesis project. I love to see the entrepreneurship, and I can tell you guys have a lot of passion for having success in this space. And yeah, thanks again, guys, for coming up here today.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having us and everyone that attended tonight.
Thank you so much, guys. And unfortunately for the stream, its luck has run out. Poop, pull the plug. That is a wrap, everybody. Thank you so much.